I don't know if you've heard, but one of the best games of all time is coming back. Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi is getting their 4th installment, and I could not be more excited. I still don't know what console is going to be on. It might be on the Switch, it might be on the next-gen Nintendo console, but even if it's a PS5 exclusive though, I will specifically go out and buy a PS5 just for this game. That's how much I love this franchise. Now, since Budokai Tenkaichi has always been about the characters, I'm definitely expecting a lot of them. But since there were a whole bunch of fluff characters in Tenkaichi 3, I'm almost sure that a good chunk of them are going to get cut. The good news though, is that since then, we've gotten the entire Dragon Ball Super series and a much better Broly movie than before. So I'm hoping we'll be getting some good additions to make up for who we'll probably be losing. Still, there's a couple characters who I really want to see in the next game, so let's get started. The first character I want to see added is Whis. I mean, if we can get Babidi and the Supreme Kai, I think it'd be easy for them to add who is, canonically, the strongest fighter in Universe 7. I think beating people to a pulp with him would actually be hilarious. And speaking of hilarious, I really want to see Arale come back. She was in Tenkaichi 3 back in the day as a joke character, but she's actually canon in the Dragon Ball universe. Plus, she's arguably stronger than Vegeta and can stand toe-to-toe with Goku in his Super Saiyan Blue form. She would be so much fun to see in the next game. I just really hope they add Arale. Another character specifically from Super I'd like to see is Zamasu. This is probably my favorite villain from the entire series, and he could have the potential to be absolutely broken in a game like this, especially if he can fuse with Goku Black as one of his moves. Also, while I'm thinking about fusion, I really want to see Goten and Kid Trunks come back. Not only do I think that Goten has kind of been shafted as a character, but I also think that Gotenks was one of the most fun characters in Dragon Ball Z, especially since he was able to go toe-to-toe with Majin Buu. Now, so far, I've mentioned mainly characters from Dragon Ball Super, so how about I throw in some characters from GT too? So Pan would be the obvious choice there. She's another character that was kinda done dirty in terms of character development, so being able to use her and become the best in the world with her is doing her a way better justice than the writers ever gave her. Other obvious choices would be Omega Shenron and Baby, but aside from them, I can't really see anyone worth adding from GT. Maybe Bulla? She is technically more Saiyan than Pan, so obviously though, most of the new additions are going to come from Super. So I'd expect to see Jiren, Top, Dispo, Beerus, Hit, Kaba, Caulifla, Kale, hopefully Ribrianne, and of course Frieza would come back in his gold form in this game. Obviously Broly would be in it since Akira Toriyama specifically went out of his way to make him a good character, and I'd also like to see the trio of Danger make an appearance. I thought that they really were good characters who just couldn't match up to Goku and Majin Buu. Now for some characters I'd like to see return, I personally enjoy the Great Saiyaman and Great Saiyawoman, but that's just because I like goofy characters and think they'd be a lot of fun to play. But also, if Videl comes back, please give us the option to let her keep her long hair. Also, Chi-Chi, Android 8, and General Blue, those were all great additions from the original Dragon Ball series, and just because we don't see them fight in Z or Super, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't get their spotlight here. Now, Android 21 isn't a returning character from the series, but since Fighters is such a big deal in the fighting game scene, I think adding her would make total sense. Also, I shouldn't need to say this, but Raditz. Can we please make Raditz a relevant character again? I mean, he is Goku's brother, and he does have more screen time than Bardock. And finally, Grandpa Gohan, just because he's the best character in the whole world. Now, I just mentioned a lot of characters, but that's what Tenkaichi has always been about since the beginning. I'm totally fine with removing characters like the Cybermen, Spopovich, Fasha, Nail, and freaking Zangia. With the addition of Dragon Ball Super though, there are now twice as many characters that deserve their time in the spotlight. I'm fine with getting rid of Kui. I'm fine with getting rid of Cell Jr. We can even get rid of Bojack if you want. I just don't think that with the technology that we have now and the precedent set by the previous games, I just don't think it would be asking too much to see the characters that I mentioned. Now, I may not get all of them, and that's totally fine. Except Raditz. Just please give me Raditz. What about you guys, though? What characters do you want to see in the next game? Leave a comment to let me know, and I'll see you guys next time.